Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Reactor and this is Quinn, and today's article comes from scientificamerican.com. The article is titled, Same-Sex Mice Parents Give Birth to Healthy Brood. Gene editing and stem cell research have allowed for alternative rodent reproduction. So, same-sex mice.
So, this is nice because perhaps this will give same-sex human parents the ability to have a baby with both of their genes, which is great for them. So they can actually
oh, and here's a picture of them of same-sex couples reproducing.
Hey,
that's what it looks like. Weird. What is that?
It reminds me of
it's animation. 2 eggs. Is that 2 eggs?
Is that what that is?
Maybe, or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's starting to divide. Yeah, okay, yeah. Egg cell dividing. Baby making science has crossed a new threshold, at least in rodents. A team of scientists in China have managed to create a small number of apparently healthy mouse pups from same-sex female parents. The researchers also generated offspring from 2 mouse dads, but those pups all died shortly after birth, underscoring the fact that the new technique still faces serious hurdles. I wonder why the males died.
I mean, it's cool that they can, the females survived.
Well, I know females have 2 X chromosomes, and males only have 1. And I know the X chromosome is I mean, you can't live without it. It like tells you, it's everything about you. It's your functionality of your body. And then the Y is just a little like plug-in mod that makes you a man. So basically, humans are all women that were modified into men. Which is crazy because the Bible proved it otherwise, you know? So what does science know?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The Bible already said where women came from a rib, you know? Like, which doesn't make any sense, and it shows that oh my God, I don't want to do a religious thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The team's approach, which relies on stem cell science and CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing, is a new way to produce offspring of same-sex mammals, says senior author Zhu,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, who works on stem cell and reproductive biology at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Like, another thing I want to say is, you know damn well human experiments are going on right now. You know?
Always, throughout history.
Yeah.
It will always be happening.
And the United States government might lie and say, we're not doing that. That's inhumane. And the Chinese government might lie and say, we're not doing that. But I bet they all are, because the country with that doesn't advance in science is a country that dies. You know? And being at the peak of science, while everyone else is saying, oh, okay, we're not going to experiment on humans, all the other countries are like, all right, if we cheat right now, we can get our foot in the door.
So you're saying that a lot of these people that are disappearing in Mexico are probably being experimented on?
Maybe. I don't think Mexico has a big science industry, though.
Right, but it's the whole disconnection. If you abduct the people in another country, then it's easier to... It's cheaper that way. No one really points fingers, because it's like, it happened there.
I guess. I mean, that's possible. I mean, if I was a multi-billionaire running a site, like if I was Tony Stark, I'd have some humans being tested on.
Right. They'd probably just give their consent. You know, or you'd pay them.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still illegal to try cloning a human. You know. But if someone said, "I'll give you $50,000. I just want to clone you," I'd be like, "All right, let's do this. I'll let you do it for free. I want to see a clone." You know,
like, legit. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. It doesn't have to be as evil as suspected. If the process can be vastly improved, and if it works well in larger mammals, it may eventually offer hope to human same-sex couples who want to have kids that are biologically related to both parents. Yet that scenario remains distant and may never become scientifically feasible at all. The amount of work that is necessary to convince us that doing this in humans will do no harm is enormous and is very much ahead of us, says Fyodor Urnov, deputy director of Altius Institute of Biomedical Sciences in Seattle. That doesn't sound like China. He doesn't sound like an expert on this, you know? Let's ask the Chinese people, the Chinese scientists, if they can do it on humans, because I guarantee mammals are all the same, and any editing you do to a mouse, you could do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The amount of work necessary involved. Moreover, it would remain extremely controversial, in part because offspring from two females would not have Y chromosomes and thus could only be female. Yeah. So? Yeah, they would make a daughter that's a mix of two women.
Right.
Other researchers had previously derived offspring from two female mice, but the rodents developed various health problems and the process was more cumbersome. Zhu says. Scientists in the U.S. had also earlier produced offspring from two male mice, but that work employed an entirely different technique that involved creating an intermediate mother, meaning one of the fathers was given the ability to form eggs. Yeah, like the cloning. I think that's how they did cloning on Dolly in the 90s. The bipaternal process would not be applicable to humans, at least with current technologies, because it builds on a genetic anomaly that would render a human infertile, says Richard Behenninger, a genetics professor at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center who led the earlier Two Fathers work. The research conducted by Zhu and colleagues, he says, is a technical tour de France. The team's findings were reported Thursday in a study published in Cell Stem Cell.
So maybe their mistake that they're making people infertile, maybe that could help to make people infertile that should be made infertile. Like making it so...
like genetic diseases make you infertile?
Convicted rapists that need to become infertile because, they should be, or they...
Yeah, well, we can already
legally
do that just with the scissors.
I mean, it's probably very painful, though.
Yeah.
Scissors or this thing?
Well, we could do it with anesthesia and a scalpel, too, but I don't think we need to put that much money into it.
Sounds expensive, yeah. Painful and expensive.
The researchers then washed out the haploid stem cells, remaining instructions to act like eggs. They accomplished this by using CRISPR to delete 3 essential regions of DNA, which controls what switches are turned on and off along the genome to express a specific parent's genes, a phenomenon called imprinting. After that, they needed to coax those same cells to act more like sperm, so they deleted still other key DNA sequences that were controlling which genes were turned on or off. Next, the researchers injected each artificial sperm cell into another egg, creating a bimaternal embryo. Finally, the embryo was implanted into the womb of a third mouse that acted as a surrogate mother. In this way, the team ended up with 29 live mice from 210 embryos, a success rate of roughly 14%. Those pups grew up and went on to have offspring of their own, fathered by male mice. That's crazy.
That is so crazy that they were able to do that.
Yeah. Trying to produce mice with 2 dads was even more complicated and far less successful. The early steps were similar, starting with sex cells, this time sperm, and harnessing laboratory techniques to elicit haploid stem cells. Then the researchers deleted 7 DNA regions, areas that control imprinting, from each of those cells. Next, they injected each of those modified stem cells, along with a second father's sperm, into an enucleated egg, one that has had its nucleus removed so that it had no biological instructions of its own. Okay. To make this 2-dad system work, they still needed a placenta, which nourishes a fetus during pregnancy. So they next had to conduct an arduous process to obtain placenta-forming material from a completely separate, non-viable embryo, and then incorporated that outside the contribution into bipaternal embryo. Eventually, that cobbled-together embryo was implanted into a surrogate mother. Less than 2% of the mice created in this way were born alive, and any that were died shortly after birth.
Sounds very man-made, that process.
Yeah. Literally? Oh.
Yeah.
The quick death of the offspring revealed that there were still some unknown reproduction development barriers crossing the production of bipaternal mice. Bipaternal? Oh, 2 father mice. Notes the Academy Boyoung Hu, a senior author of the new study. In nature, bimaternal reproduction, or parthenogenesis, is quite common among vertebrates such as amphibians, reptiles, and fish. However, successful reproduction from 2 males is very rare and can only be found in specific fish under experimental conditions. That means the production of bipaternal mice might need to cross more barriers than the bimaternal mice. Yeah. Yi Zhang, a professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School, was not involved with the work. Says the main benefits of these new findings lie in addressing some basic science questions, and in the way it is testing the scientific bounds of reproduction and epigenetics. From a scientific point of view, even for mice, this is very difficult, he says. And for primates and humans, it's going to be 10 times more difficult. Yeah. That's awesome, though.
Right.
I love hearing that they're like, why aren't we doing human experiments? You know, it doesn't have to be like the Japanese ones from World War II, where they see how long your arm could be frozen before it falls off. You know, those are inhumane, of course.
I think the trouble is that you need healthy people to do research on. Well, you just need people that aren't worried about becoming infertile, because that's what their worry is.
No, they're not worried that you can't become infertile. If they took your reproduction cells, that's it. You're done. All right, you can leave if you want. You know, we're gonna make a human. But the problem is that you create a human who's intelligent and could be deformed. And that's what I guess we're afraid of.
Right.
But if you ask me, if you create a human that doesn't want to live, you know, they have the choice. You know, hey, you weren't going to exist in the first place, dude. You know, I'm sorry that our experiment made it so you were born without legs. I guess that is tricky.
But intelligent and deformed lab experiment people that are born in a lab could still offer much to humanity. You never know.
Another thing is they could also do human experiments, but then not let the fetus be born. You know, like, oh, after 9 months, this is a completely healthy fetus. Let's dissect it and see how it did. That's not inhumane, because killing fetuses is apparently okay, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
Yeah, I want to say, this is awesome. I've actually always wanted to do, like, DIY bio stuff, like, with plants, like gene editing. And I'm pretty sure I could figure it out, but I don't know. Like, all these tools and stuff. I want to figure out CRISPR. I looked into it before. I have no idea really how it works. I don't think after reading it, I was like, I don't think I could do that. But yeah, I don't know. It would be fun. But that's it for the article. Tell us what you would have done in the comments. Like the video and all that stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, also, we have a Patreon, and it would be really cool if you guys feel like helping. The link's in the description. So, head over to our Patreon if you want to help us out. That would be great. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.